Okay, so let me hit okay. Okay, well, hello everyone and welcome. I'm Eileen with Member Services with LCI. LCI is the associated arm of LCI Workers Comp. LCI Workers Comp has provided coverage for thousands of small and medium-sized businesses across Louisiana, all while delivering timely, competent customer service to both members and valued agency partners for the past 35 years. The association was funded in 2008 with a goal to identify and meet the present and potential business needs for our members. We are dedicated to helping our members flourish by offering benefits, programs, and services such as today's webinar. And I think we're looking for Marianne, right?
Good morning.
Oh,
Thanks,
there you are.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for being here. Hello again and welcome. I'm Marianne Miller from the Stay Local Program Manager. With LCI, we're pleased to host experts from Viva NOLA for this morning's webinar, and we'll hear from them in just a second. Today's session is an important subject for us. Where at Stay Local, we design initiatives and campaigns that really support the thriving climate for independent businesses to grow and prosper through original research, educational events like this one, and also through policy advocacy. We connect local representatives to businesses, we connect consumers to businesses, and we connect businesses to one another, like we're doing here. We're an initiative of the Urban Conservancy. So that's a New Orleans based 5 parish wide nonprofit, which catalyzes equitable policies and practices related to the urban built environment and the local economy. We can't do it without member support. And so I want to just give a shout out really quickly to these state local investor level members: Quality Site Work Materials, Brazil Sakshi Wilson, Parkway Bakery and Tavern, Stowe Law, St. Roch Market, and of course, our co-presenter, LCI. Eileen?
Okay, so about our presenters, we have Anna Maria Beck, a publisher of Viva Nola magazine, which I love the magazine. I'm a fan. A print and digital variety publication inspired by the culture of the city of New Orleans and the influence in Spain, Latin America, and Caribbean have had here. She brings vast broadcast production experience in television to her role directing and advertising, marketing, print content, and social media content to for 7 years old publication. And also, I'm a fan of Axel Rosa. He's an ambassador at Viva Nola, where he brings an experience with digital marketing, social media content creation, and consistency, trends, website design, and SEO. He is an artist, manager, entertainment business consultant, and founder of South 25 Entertainment, an independent New Orleans record label with global perspective. Wow, right? And take it away with that and and welcome everyone. I want to welcome everyone to this.
Thank you so much, Eileen, for that introduction. We're very happy to be here to be able to speak to new people. That's always great to reach out. So thank you both for the opportunity to have us here. We have prepared a presentation that we're going to be sharing our screen for that. Like they said, Axel and I work together on this magazine. The magazine has been around for 7 years. We're going to be 7 years in April. And for those of you who don't know the magazine, we have print issues and we have digital. So of course, we are a multimedia platform as well. Doing video because that's what I know the best from my television experience. And Axel has been a great asset, bringing his social media expertise and other abilities to Viva Nola. Did you want to say something, Axel, to greet people?
Hi, everybody. Good morning. Thank you for participating, and thank you to LCI and Stay Local for putting this on, and also for and then also and then also to the future people that are going to be watching this, because this is recorded, if you're watching this in 2025, and even if it's the end of 2025 and something worked out from this webinar, please reach out to us and let us know, because a year is a year. But yeah, welcome and thank you. I do have a bachelor's and master's in entertainment business. My goal is to intertwine as many communities as possible and also educate small business owners on being able to, take their word of mouth and turn it into digital, and also to be able to story tell, because a lot of people want to know about the people these days. So yeah.
So I'm trying to share the screen. I think everybody's able to see it. Just give me confirmation. Awesome. Thank you so much. This is what we're talking about: marketing, branding trends for 2025. Of course, some of the things that we're going to discuss are things that have been happening, but they are still relevant. Let us know about your questions at the end. We're going to be talking about the evolving landscape of marketing, some key trends shaping 2025, some actionable strategies for you to implement, and we have a few case studies and examples. And at the end, we'll have a Q&A. So the landscape, some of the things in the landscape going on right now are the need for authenticity and trust. Those are big things that people are looking for right now. And of course, providing organic content is still king, and especially this year, we want to do everything more organic. There is a longing for nostalgia. I don't know if you have noticed in social media that people are putting like grainy images. They're trying not to be so perfect. There is like a longing for the past, that where we have more personal connections. So that's one of the trends that's going on right now. Also, the rise of social commerce and influence marketing. This is nothing new, but as we look for more personal connections, that's something that's going to be trending a lot. Video content is still dominating, and even more now. If you have noticed, Instagram recently changed their feed to have longer thumbnails instead of the square ones. That's gone, and it's because of the use of vertical video content. And there is absolutely a growth in personalization, and that's in every single aspect of marketing. We're not just going to be talking about social media. There is a few things that are being focused on right now, and it's the voice search. There is more than 40% of US households now have intelligent speakers like Alexa or Google or even Siri. So you have to optimize your business to be responsive to that searching we're doing, which is a little bit of different than when you search online, because the way you talk is very different of the way you speak. So that optimization is a little bit different. And SEO, still very important. Axel is going to be talking about SEO. So let's hear from Axel.
Yes, SEO is a big factor. SEO actually pretty much ties into everything. We're going to go over all aspects of marketing, but I like to say SEO is the initial point to your digital presence because it's tied into your website. And I like to say it's some sort of a pyramid effect. First, you have your website, then you have your clientele. So then you create the email list and you build that, and then you build social media, because let's say if things go backwards and things crash, like, Meta has been offline for 4 hours in the past, like twice, I think, in US history. Like, if that were to happen again, what's your second method to reaching those people? And that's in relation to SEO. So SEO stands for search engine optimization, for those of you that aren't familiar with it. It's pretty much the keywords, the vital essential keywords that are going to make your website, your service, your brand, your product stand out when it comes to the internet search engines. And SEO now has evolved from website into also social media. So your captions on social media are a huge factor now. Now it's not just, you post a selfie with your product and you say, hey, come see us for dinner. We close at 6 p.m. if you're a restaurant owner. No, it's more in depth because the algorithm complements the user based off of what they're constantly interacting with. And if they're interacting with similar stuff that's in relation to your industry or your product, it's gonna like those captions are gonna complement that type of I guess incentive that Meta offers businesses to where it'll push your content to those consumers, if that makes sense. Again, you can ask questions over about this further at the end, but SEO is very important to understand, and there's many tutorials online that you can find out. And then also too, at Viva Nola, what we specialize, what I like, given that we're a bilingual publication and our clients, 80% of them are going to be bilingual business owners, we're able to provide that SEO both in English and Spanish. And we know in today's day and age that you have to be able to understand your audience. And sometimes when you're bilingual, the English audience is completely different from the Spanish. So, but yeah, we can touch more on that as we go along.
Other trends evolving in the marketing landscape are AR and VR. Of course, one is augmented reality, the other one is virtual reality. These are things that are very special because they allow you to personalize things and to immerse yourself in products or experiences. So, for example, when you go to IKEA website, you're able to see how that furniture is going to look in your space. So those are trends that are very important to jump on right now. They're not cheap. There is other trends that are more accessible to different businesses, like interaction in social media. Of course, that's a big one. You want to connect to those people who follow you. You want to connect to your audience. And there is different ways of doing that, which we will talk about it in a little bit. And also the use of creator communities. One easy example for that is Facebook groups that align with your theme, with your product, with what you represent. So, for example, Viva Nola is part of many Latino groups around the city, and we're able to not only push our content, but also to watch what's being discussed to see what's relevant for people and what services we can provide to them. The trend number one is hyper personalization. And how that's being used right now is through the use of CRM tools, like, HubSpot. And we have some examples of other CRM tools. Those are the tools where you can see who your customers are and you can have all their data within your systems, and you can send messages or products specific to what they're looking for. Also, personalized email marketing with the customer data. Like sometimes you have a database that's 2,000 people, but you can say these people are interested in the healthcare, these people are interested in events, these people are interested in something else. So you can target your email marketing regarding their interests or whatever they search on your e-commerce website. As well, you can retarget marketing to see, you put something in your cart. So with the personalized email, you go back and you say, oh, hey, you forgot this in your cart, purchase it now. We give you a 10% discount, something along those lines. And incorporating dynamic content on websites. This is something that you see all the time. Same thing, like you log on to your favorite website and all of a sudden you get an ad for something you were searching a few minutes ago, or they show you a video that they think you're gonna like. So this dynamic content on the websites is something that's also trending right now. It's important to make every interaction feel unique. You're familiar with Netflix. When you log on to Netflix, they tell you what are your recommended movies because they're understanding what your preferences are. Same thing with the Spotify Wrapped, where they're like, okay, this is your favorite artist. You listen to this so many times. So those are personalized experiences that people enjoy a lot. If you want to add something, Axel, go ahead.
Yes, I would like to incorporate the dynamic concept to the website. it's super important because you want everything to be cohesive with whatever campaign you're launching. So whatever you're posting on social media, whatever you're posting, whatever you're sending in your email marketing list should be like the landing page to all that should be your website. And that includes the fun content you post on social media, not necessarily your reels, but that emotion, that feeling, or that captivity you're trying to get your consumers. You need to bring that same energy to the website. If you look at, exactly, kind of like streaming, in relation to what you said about Netflix. If you log into the desktop on Netflix, it's the same experience. The app, the television, stuff like that, and it personally knows you and it recommends things. In this case, when you are in control of your website as a small business, you can do the same thing with these tools that we have right here on the screen. And you can tell what customer likes this, what customer doesn't like that. Also, too, if you're the type to receive feedback from your customers, definitely listen to them and take note and create many little communities within your target audience of the product or service that you're selling to them.
On the screen, we can see some of the CRM tools that we spoke about. There is Pipedrive, Monday, Salesforce, HubSpot. There's many others. This is from a website that was the ranking in how effective they are, but a lot of them you have to try and see what's your preference and your personal choice. Then we have some example of dynamic content here. Is like you log into a website, you're looking for information, and immediately it's like, hello, and your name is there and they know who you are and what you're looking for. So again, this is a little bit more in detail, more expertise is needed, but those are the trends that we're seeing. Video content dominance, we mentioned this, how the social media is changing. Instagram started as a platform where you posted your beautiful curated pictures, and that's no longer the case. Of course, we've heard about TikTok possibly closing in the US. Doubt that's going to happen. I think that's more of like political talk than anything else. I wouldn't put a lot of effort into that, but still use it. We never know what could happen. I don't anticipate it being closed, but that's why other platforms are capitalizing on the content video creation. That's why Instagram has focused on that vertical landscape more than the pictures or the square. That's why TikTok Reels and YouTube Shorts have become very popular as well. And so those are platforms that you need to leverage definitely for that. Of course, coming from a television background, the way you do videos have changed a lot. And one of the things with video is that it is time consuming to create video. So it's important to plan ahead your content. It's important to understand who your audience is, even within the different platforms that there are. You can still do testimonials for your website, of course, and that's different. That will be like a horizontal video as opposed to a vertical video. You have to think about where those videos are going to be to create the correct content for each platform. And something that really like blows my mind is the live selling on social media. They do it on Amazon, they do it on TikTok, they do it on Facebook. And, kind of like we're old school, you will remember the live shopping networks on television. So people will call and make a purchase right there. But now it's more instant because you're watching and you're clicking and you're buying. So if you're a retailer, that's an avenue that you definitely need to explore. It's entertaining and it's very effective. We have a graphic here about the content consumption on X, which is the former Twitter. So video is definitely much more than all the other contents. And we recommend you definitely using video as much as you can. Of course, we have a video production agency. So if you ever need help with doing quality videos, we're definitely there. You can consider us for that. If you want to add something, Axel.
Um, no, I think in relation to the TikTok situation, I think it's a good example of what I mentioned earlier about Meta is, learning all the aspects of marketing when it comes to digital and traditional. You mentioned old school. I like to say that I am a proud millennial where I had pen and paper and a computer. So what sets us apart is we can operate with both, and we're at a peak in, I guess, the generational pool where you look to your left, they don't know what pen and paper is. You look to your right, and they have difficult time with digital. But when you are able to understand both, you're able to create a trickle effect to where your marketing strategy is in every avenue. And in this situation, you want to also do your homework. Like, okay, if these kids aren't going to be on TikTok, where are they going to be? Another good one is the YouTube Shorts because they like to find content on YouTube. And another one too is Snapchat. Um, Snapchat is a great tool for the younger audiences, and also creating the video content for each platform could be different. You're not going to post what you would post for a high schooler that you would post for a mom on Facebook. So always paying attention to your content, and then also to, um, you know, in relation to us creating the like high quality content, you also want to know like who you want to give that high quality to, because sometimes the a younger generation, they're not impressed by high quality production. They like the gringy, sad, like smoky, darky, gloomy stuff versus like us. We all came to this webinar to learn business stuff, right? We expect professional, neat, presentable stuff, and that's all going back to knowing your audience.
Like Instagram Reels, they report 22% more interaction from video than any other type of static posts or things like that. So moving on, we have AI power marketing. And we have used that in a smaller scale. There is always more needs. So there is the use of chatbots for customer service on your website. These machines are learning so much that they can react to all your customers' questions in a proper manner. And it's impressive. They have some that look like real humans. So there is a lot of technology behind it, and there's a lot of learning to do to get there. Leverage AI for email and ad copy generation. We do that very often. However, people are seeing more and more of this type of content that is generated by AI, and there is a little bit of a trend to stay away from using AI just for that and focus on using it more for that um, chatbot, for customer service, for things that are more needed than creating copy, because you want to humanize that text. You want to humanize your messaging. It's becoming too robotic. I don't know if it happens to you, but it's very easy to spot who's using AI. It's kind of like the same flow, is the same emojis. You can see who's using AI, and you don't want to become a robotic brand. The good thing of AI is that you can predict the customer behavior to optimize your campaigns as well. Meta has been pushing this a lot, where they want you to use their recommendations as opposed to you catering your audiences when you're doing paid ads, because their machines are learning so much that is sometimes way more accurate than what you do. I'm going to move forward. Social commerce growth. We talked a little bit about the selling on TikTok. There's enabling your posts to tag your products so people can click on them on different platforms, so they can go directly to purchase, which is some of the best things about social media as opposed to print and on other traditional media that do other things for you. Collaborate with influencers for live shopping events. And I know Axel has some insights about working with influencers and looking for the people that align with your brand.
Yes. So it's very important to understand what an influencer is and exactly what they're influencing. And then also too, just because you're approached by somebody that has a big following doesn't doesn't necessarily mean that your investment, whether it's trade, time, or money, is going to prove some kind of result. A great example would be you want to make sure that obviously your services and product and your target audience align with that influencer, and then you also want to clearly communicate that what your goal is of your campaign, and then also to what type of strategic factors they can bring to you, given that they're going to be the content creators of your product. This is something stepping outside of technically your marketing department, where you're hiring an independent contractor technically to come in and help promote your business. So it's kind of like you're giving them free way of, letting them provide the, we can use a lot of food, food, for example, in restaurants. The influencer comes in and provides the experience and their point of view to their followers, which 9 times out of 10 is going to be the similar type of person that they are. So you want to pay attention to the influencer. Are they young? Are they older? Are they part of your audience? Are these the type of people you want, or like when you created your business, projected to sell your product? Are you a small business and you just want to focus on a certain small niche market? Or do you want to do the whole thing? Those are things to think about. And also, too, you want to be careful and ask some type of testimonial or get some type of background from the influencer, because I could have a million followers and I could walk into any business in New Orleans and I could say, hey, can I, do some influencing for y'all? And this is how much I charge, or, y'all can buy me something to eat. But all those million followers could be in Vietnam and none of them come into your business. So it's always good to have these conversations with them. And if they aren't being open and receptive to you, where 8 to 9 times out of 10 they are, a red flag is if that they're being difficult with you because they have nothing to show, from my experience.
Yes, and there's a lot of emphasis in micro influencers as well, because they target your niche more than what Axel said about thousands, millions of followers that are not relevant to your business. Moving on, the use of platform analytics to measure performance. You have so many insights. Social media is great in doing this. You can have insights from your website, from Google, and it's important to use those measures to see what you could cater to better, and to improve your future performance as well. It's important to refer to those statistics. Oh, I don't know why that. So this is the live selling from TikTok. This is a screenshot. You have so many people connected. The lady is selling exercise equipment. I just took this before we jumped on. 8:45 in the morning. It can be watched anywhere in the world. But she's talking about this exercise machinery. She also can get like those roses, finger hearts, all this stuff is like money that she gets just for entertaining people and selling. So it's impressive to me, and it's 24/7. So there's always people selling. Sustainability and purpose-driven branding. I know Urban Conservancy is very focused on this. Having local initiatives is part of that. Having local connections as well. So this stay local, it's important to be sustainable. Be transparent about your sustainability efforts. For example, Viva Nola has a 3,000 run print. And for special issues, we do 5,000. And some people ask me, do you want to grow it more? And I'm like, we use beautiful paper. It's not cheap. It has to be transported, although now we're printing locally. So I'm happy about that. But when they ask me about growing more print, it's like we have the digital issue and we can reach many other people, more people digitally. So the magazine is more like a keepsake for many people that prefer to go back to paper and to get away from digital. Is less competition, obviously, on the print issue than all those ads that you get on social media. But I'm always questioning whether I want to grow that run, that print run. Partner with causes that resonate with your audience, with your branding, with your mission. That's important. incorporate eco-friendly packaging. That's very important. We're getting better at that in Louisiana. I think there are other states that are way beyond where we are. We're still using plastic bags in the grocery stores, but I think we need to shift and we need to pay attention to those changes. And I don't know how we're doing on time. For example, the NFL is coming in town, and I just received this media advisory for the NFL Green campaign where they're inviting people to plant trees in the city, which is great. So it shows that they care about the environment and the places that they're hosting their events. Yesterday, the Louis Armstrong New Orleans International Airport, they revealed or unveiled their new logo, their new branding. I've noticed that it was green. The brand story didn't say anything about sustainability, but I think they're shifting towards that within the airport with their recycling, with the water refilling options. They're shifting towards that. So I think the green choice wasn't away from that sustainability efforts. Tell your story. And Axel is going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about, no, go ahead, Axel, and take it.
Okay. Yes. So, telling your story is very, very, very important. One thing that sets Aviva Nola magazine apart from being not just a magazine, but also providing the additional multimedia and marketing services is that we can not only help you market your business, but we'll also storytell for you. Because you know I don't know if it's because I'm nosy or because I support, but when I go out to eat or when I walk into a cool establishment or even like a, a nice franchise somewhere in another state, you just wonder like, who did this? Like, what's their story? What was their idea? Why did they decide to, infuse these two cuisines? Why did they build this childhood castle playhouse and make it a nonprofit and these people can come in for free and enjoy it, why, and adding that to your social media is really important these days because given that social media is the immediate access point for anybody, because we are in a digital era. It kind of goes back to the example where it's the new television. Like it's like people have television at their fingertips technically. So their social media, like your storytelling, you're literally able to communicate what you want to communicate to your consumers. And the majority of the time, it aligns with your brand, it aligns with your product. And when you are a business owner or a nonprofit or organizer or whatever you want to market, 9 times out of 10, like you're filling a void. People will start a business because they're like, we don't have enough of type of this food here. I'm going to open one. Yes. So, a great example is, people love to hear the story about, how Spanx happened, and it happened out of frustration and filling a void. So, if you are filling a void and you're a business owner, a nonprofit, like I said, whatever it is, and you're doing well, it's doing big, or it's doing okay, and you see like your sales or like your numbers aren't where they are, consider traditional storytelling as well, not just on social media because you remember social media is going to be short form format videos, and you also want to keep that PR aspect with traditional media. You always want the written story right up, and you always want the interaction between somebody actually interviewing you versus us, marketing consultants putting you in front of a camera and say, all right, tell me about why'd you do this? And then we edit it and make you look good versus an actual interview with media, which we provide as well. It's a genuine conversation on camera. That's why you see things that are popular now are podcasts. People going live on their own Facebook doing their own thing. But you always want to give traditional. You always want to refer back to traditional media, and then also too in as a business owner in the an event of a crisis, a natural disaster. Traditional media are going to be the outlets that are going to inform you of the necessary resources you need to get through that time, not just your insurance agent for your business or the HR personnel who's in, whatever traditional media is there. They stay, here in Southeast Louisiana, we're known for storms. We just had a snowstorm. But they stay. They're the ones watching everything. They're the ones letting us know when we evacuate. When we're not around our businesses and our homes. And it's always important to always lean back towards that. And then again, it falls back into your audience as well. Is your audience, are like you selling products to people that are 45 and up? Traditionally, they're not going to be on TikTok. They're most likely not going to be on YouTube. So you really shouldn't put that much energy into that right away. You're going to transition. You're going to trickle back to, okay, how are they finding their info? Where did they used to find their info? And what did those platforms do to transition to keep those listeners, readers, and followers? So a great example is television and radio, where they are on social media. So you get the both aspects. And just like us as a publication, we provide the services both in print and digital.
To what I will say, Instagram also just allow for 3 minute reels. That's something that just happened. So you have a little more time to tell your story. UGC on that screen right there, that stands for user generated content, is very special when it's other people talking about you and when it's other people telling your story, as opposed to a paid influencer. When your core, like for example, if somebody tweeted something about this webinar right now, that will be great because you're getting a feedback or you're getting a promotion from a third party that is not within your organization. So when people post or tag Viva NOLA on something, we always try to repost that, and because that shows that people are paying attention to what you're doing or they care about what you posted. You can also like contract people to be your UGC spokespeople, kind of like that's the new spokesperson type of deal. As Axel said, traditional media helps build your authority. It's important that if you are an expert in an area, you build your authority through telling your message, to telling how you got to where you are, to telling what's your background, your expertise. And that's where we come in. And also getting away from that digital saturation, we're seeing a trend of going back to in-person events. So those in-person events are crucial. And you have to look for those that connect to your causes, that connect to the right audience for your business. You can create them yourself or you can co-sponsor them. This is something that we have been doing.
Can I say something about the in-person?
This is something that we're doing, the Airline Skate Center. We wanted to target families, and people and brands have come to support those initiatives because they want to promote health, for example, and they want to promote family values. So this is just one example that I wanted to mention before you go back. Axel, go ahead.
No. Actually, you go right ahead. I forgot that this slide came after this one, so it's good timing. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, so this is just one example of local people telling their story. We had Chef Melissa Araujo from Alma. We told her story in English and Spanish, and she leverages a lot of different print and other outlets to tell her story. Also, in preparing for Women's International Month, we're launching a campaign for women entrepreneurs or women who want to build their authority in their field. We're doing nominations, so you can help us nominate women who are inspiring change. And also we have the opportunity for those women who are nominated, we're going to do like social media shout outs, but if they want to invest in their branding, in their authority, we have like specific packages for them to upgrade that free content that we're providing to them. And I want to move on because I know we're kind of like running out of time. Inclusivity and diversity, we have heard from our governors that that's something they want to erase, but this is still very relevant with marketing. You still have to consider to be fair to all the different groups that there are. You want to provide representation, and you cannot overlook emerging markets. For example, the Latino community is the most rapidly growing community in the United States. So you cannot overlook those groups that are being relevant for you to target, for you to get new customers. You be socially responsible to include everybody. These are things that have to align with your values as well. Anything else, Axel?
No.
Okay. This is just putting it all together, what we discussed, just a little bit about what we just said. Audit your current marketing efforts to see where you can improve. Start small and scale to successful initiatives. A little bit works a long way. Tell your story, use video, get out of the digital world, and invest in tools and training for new trends. Some of the examples we had was the AI use of Sephora, where you can try on like their products before you buy them. They can do your face recognition. You can try on the makeup, see how it will look. There is a video here that talks about that. We talked about selling on socials. This is Nike's doing that a lot. The interaction through stories is one of the easiest way to do that, because stories allow you to put a link directly to your e-commerce or directly to your articles in our case, or directly to your product, or to a link for this webinar, for example. A local example that I love, she's doing it all right, and this is somebody that you want to emulate. It's Lauren from Flurry Girl. This is a company that focuses on sustainability through their localizing of everything. You know, it says here, everything New Orleans. She has a great use of social media. She has built her authority. She is the spokesperson for her brand, and she likes to support local artists. And so that's some of her sustainability efforts. She's always on top of trends. Like it snowed, the next day she had this merch out, you know. It's incredible what they're doing with their social media. Key points of the presentation: identify your target audience. Before you do any marketing efforts, know who you're talking to and what are their preferred platforms. It's so hard to be everywhere. Focus on one or two platforms that work the best for your brand, for your business, and put your efforts there. Prioritize one trend to focus on. That way you're not overwhelmed, because it can be overwhelming. Allocate the resources for the tools and training. Important, for example, I will recommend that you invest in learning about AI. A little bit goes a long way. Measure, analyze, and iterate. So make sure that you can trust what you're doing by measuring and analyzing what you're doing. Axel, did you want to say something?
Yes. So to piggyback on the idea of an in-person experience, one thing that we partnered up with the Airline Skate Center to generate that new Latin Skate Night, which, by the way, our next Latin Skate Night will be Wednesday, February 12th at 6:30. Hope you all can make it. It's for 2 hours. More details on our social media, or you all can reach out to us for that. We're also seeking sponsorships. We can let all the kids in for free. So if you're interested in doing that and touching our community, reach out to us. But we worked with the Skate Center because they reached out to us because the Skate Center makes actually 50 years in July. It shows that they know their audience, they know what their skaters want when it comes to the music playing or the theme and stuff like that. And one thing that they found was that there's a demand for like a Latin skate night or like a Hispanic something heritage. So they reached out to us to where we partnered up and we provide that in-person experience. So for us as a publication, we get to reach new people, which creates new followers and readers for our publication. The Skate Center gets to touch the Hispanic community locally, exposing the fact that there's a skate center in the corner of Airline and David Drive, which is in the pit, to me, or like the heart of Kenner and Metairie, which is, you know, predominantly where our Hispanic community is going to be located in Southeast Louisiana. So that's an example right there. Another example we did was we celebrated at the magazine our Hispanic Heritage Celebration with a restaurant in the CBD that was looking to increase their sales and their brand awareness and their presence locally in the community and online. So we partnered with them, and we got to celebrate our Hispanic Heritage celebration. We actually we got to invite LCI. They were a part of that as well. So where we got to expose them, their beautiful patio, their delicious cuisine, their amazing cocktails to our audience and our readers, and then vice versa as well. Because we did it on a regular night to where their regular customers are walking by, guests that decided to just walk in were like, oh, what's going on? It's like, we're celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month by Viva Nola. So, yeah, partnering with the right people for the right event is essential because, you can be a nonprofit that focuses on, child care or like early development education, and you partner with, I don't know, like, the can't think of something that's like
Functionality, for example.
just yeah, just some things don't work. It's good to have relationships and a plethora of contacts and to know people because it's all about who you know, not what you know. But not everything needs to be like, hey, like I'm gonna throw you in on this. No, that's sometimes that's a bad idea because it could attract negative sales. It could attract that consumer that could be possibly problematic or is constantly returning things or is, putting spreading bad word of mouth about your business. So you always want to be in mind, like, is my audience, going to this, doctor's office? I'm going to partner with this doctor's office and, a family dental and blah, blah, blah. We got together and we're doing this. And then also to Ana Maria, if you go back to the recap page right before this, just to refresh my memory.
We need to provide time for questions and answers. I just want to mention that.
Oh, no, yes, definitely. A great example is a flirty girl. She has everything in line and cohesive when it comes to anything she drops is always going to be on the website first, then it's announced through email and then social media at the same time. So it's a blast. And then remember when you identify your audience, all right, you know who they are, right? You have to identify how they think, what they like. So you want to create an audience.
A brand persona.
Yes, thank you, Ana Maria. And then you want to use that when it comes for the appropriate time to actually invest in marketing when it comes to spending. Because you could take out ads on Facebook all day, even if it's $5 a day, because that's what's recommended to start. But if you don't know what your audience likes, you won't be able to target them. And that's another service that we provide as well at Viva Nola because we can sit with you, analyze your business, your services, go through your sales, go through your projections, your goals, and we'll create the proper plan and a proper persona to be able to target.
Yes, thank you for mentioning that,
I
Axel,
just
'cause
want
we're more than just a magazine. We do a lot of things in the background as well. And yes, we are Latinos, but we are professionals, so we can work with everybody, not just with Latinos. Our contact information is on the screen right now. You can email us. We encourage you to sign up for our newsletter and to follow us on social media. On Instagram, we are Viva_Nola. And in most other networks, we are Viva Nola Mag. If you scan that screen, scan QR code, you can subscribe to our newsletter. We send at most two newsletters per month, just talking about the content that we're putting out there. And also we're pushing our events and partners that way.
Thanks, Ana Maria and Axel. I was just going to shout out the QR code and let people know if they don't have it in a way on their person when they go to promote their business. It's always good to have. Who has a question about their brand? We talked a lot about audience and knowing about it. Who wants to pop up a question about how you find more details out about your audience?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I wanted to ask about the use of Spanish in promotions. I noticed that this whole webinar is in English, and we have a Latin music ensemble, and we use very little Spanish in our promotion. So I'd like some advice on doing promotions in Spanish.
Well, it just depends on what you are trying to attract. Who is your audience usually? Is it the Latinos in town, or is it like more of a mix of different people that like to enjoy dancing and Latin music? So sometimes, there's a lot of push in that diversity and in that inclusion for languages. And sometimes it does feel like it's a lot of extra work because if you're not talking to an audience that requires Spanish, then you're just doing more work than you need to do. We use both languages because we want to cater to a bilingual audience. And actually, there is a lot of non-Hispanics that use Vivanola as a practicing tool for their Spanish. So that obviously we cater to both communities, and our reason for doing bilingual is because we don't want to exclude anybody. And the idea behind Vivanola was to connect the Latino community with the New Orleans community. So we provide information specific to our Latino Spanish speakers that it's essential that they might need during emergencies, that they might need for resources and things like that. And then we tell those non-Spanish speakers about the great work that certain people in our community are doing. So that way we use English because we want them to find out about what the Latino community is doing, but they don't speak Spanish. So who's your target audience is the most important thing you can use here. Know your brand persona, and you can email us and I'll give you a sample of to follow to create that brand persona.
That's a great help to have a tool. Just quickly to intervene if anyone doesn't know. There are some inexpensive / free tools out there, so we'll add those in the follow-up email in a list. Any other questions?
I have a
Oh,
question. Did you want to say something, Axel?
really, hey Evelyn, thanks for joining.
Hi, thank you for
Um,
having us.
really quick, Jeff. Another thing too. Hi, Jeff. Great to see you. Thanks for joining. A recommendation when it comes to Spanish is you want to also know, well, given that your band is called, from what I can see on the screen, Cuba Heats. There's a certain way you speak to a Cuban that you wouldn't speak to a Mexican, and that's in every nation. There's certain words that we say in Honduras that when I'm talking to Ana Maria, it's something completely different because she's from Colombia. So again, going back to identifying your audience. In this case, your music, so you can uh, draw in multiple people. So I recommend maybe creating different mini campaigns where you're speaking in Spanish to like Cubanos, speaking in Spanish in general, and then maybe in English. And then I recommend obviously getting with somebody Cuban, and authentic, that can speak the language or is super breaded to where they can guide you, because you don't want to say the wrong verbiage or put something where to us in English sounds like, like a joke or lightheaded, but it could be translated and it could be taken out of context. So go ahead, Evelyn. My apologies.
Oh, no, no worries. Hello, everyone. My name is Evelyn Pajon. I'm representing the University of Holy Cross. We are a private university, and we are trying to increase our Hispanic population because we have a very high level of Hispanics in the area. We're also local. We're in the West Bank, and we have amazing scholarships for students here. And I feel like we want to access more of the Hispanic when we talk about target audiences. And I know this was more entrepreneurship, but I did want everybody's brain on this because we are targeting the Hispanic community as well. But we're targeting the Hispanic community in a different way. So we have the parents that might not be bilingual, and then we have the children that are bilingual. And so I'm an immigrant. I came when I was 9 and I was translating for my parents left and right. And I want to take that away from the parents. I want to take the stress off the parents so they can understand what they're signing their kids up for. And in our community, parents are very involved in what that next decision looks like, and they want to keep kids close to home. So I guess my question is, we do have a CRM, we do have all these things in place already, but it is targeted to the American audience. So I kind of wanted to get your input on what you think would be the best approach to kind of implement this outreach into the Hispanic community.
Well, first you have avenues like Viva Nola to target those
Yes.
parents.
And
And
that's a
also,
conversation we need to have as well.
yeah, with the CRM, something really easy when you input your data into it, you can
Mhm.
ask them what their preferred language is.
Okay.
So you can
Good to
have
know.
that as part of your CRM. So when you create an email campaign in Spanish, it only goes to the people who told you that they prefer Spanish.
Good
So
to know. I didn't know that was an option.
absolutely. Yeah, you can tag people, also like if maybe you didn't have it before when you did the sign up, but if oh, they prefer Spanish, you can tag to like Spanish, and then you group those people and create a campaign specific for them. More
Great.
work, but it's the personalization that's important, and it's
Right.
the right audience is going to reach the right people.
And that's the goal, to reach the right people and to be able to, I mean, we're doing the hard work. We're trying to get as many youth educated as possible. So we need to put in the work to be able to have this outreach. But, a 17, 18-year-old, they're more lost than we could possibly be at this day and age. So we are trying to implement a lot more so the parents can feel involved because, some of the parents might have never gone to college and don't know the process either. So thank you for that input.
And something that people should know about the Latino community in particular, if they're speaking Spanish to them, like Latinos are very loyal. So when they see
Yeah.
brands speaking their language,
Right.
they feel included and they feel like safe to go there, and they also will be loyal to you.
Agreed.
So,
And I think that's another thing with it being a private university, they feel like it's out of reach. But they don't realize that there's so many scholarships that are available to them that it basically makes, going to school practically free. Go ahead, Axel.
I wanted to add to that. Also knowing, it goes back to what platforms they're using. So, what platforms Americans are using, but pay attention to what our, Hispanic grandparents and parents are using, and also our numbers in the area. So the majority of these parents are gonna be, um, they're they're gonna fall in the category of being an immigrant. The biggest tool that we have as foreigners in this country, and our families are back in our countries, is that we have, social media, but a communication platform that they really use is WhatsApp. So in this type of situation, you want to know what platforms your audience is using. Doesn't matter in any industry, anything you're promoting, you need to know what they're on. And again, it goes back to their interest and why, and that's where you need to channel. So that's why Meta a few years ago, I think it was during the pandemic, because they saw, because they needed businesses needed to be able to communicate with their consumers directly in every format to be able to stay afloat. They created a WhatsApp business, and so and all nonprofits and also businesses can um, directly message their consumers, and they can reply to them too. They can communicate versus like you creating your own personal account and your phone is being blown up at any hour of the night. But yeah, it's always that's something essential. So and then also knowing, what they like locally and what they're tuning in and what events they go to, where y'all could go to, and stuff like that.
Great. Thank you so much.
Great question. I learned more about your university. Thank you.
No
I wanted to
worries.
add, also for the Holy Cross, I attended that Heritage Festival y'all had, and I
Oh,
thought it was
great.
so amazing
Oh,
because it was
fun.
different cultures that came. It would have been a great place, like, Jeff Cuba could have gone in there, and showed his music. I love the Cuban dancers that were there. My daughter,
Yeah.
felt like she was looked at because Axel referred to her, oh, you're a heritage speaker. And my daughter, who's at that time, I think she's 17, she took it like, oh wow, that's what I am. I understand Spanish, I speak it a little bit. And then I brought her to the Heritage Festival at the Holy Cross grounds. And I thought it was such a great way of inclusion She had never seen Cuban dancers before. She had never seen what that was. So I think that the way that we do business in New Orleans is completely different than the way you do business in
Yeah,
Washington State or
agreed.
New York. And I think that Viva Nola has come and actually got that. We do business by, hey, how are you? How's your mom and them? And that's how Hispanics do business. Like I was scared when my mom got Facebook at 65. I'm like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
but that's how she communicates. But I wanted to say, that festival y'all did at the Holy Cross grounds, it was very good. It was very good.
Thank you so much. As the founder of the festival, I think it was heartwarming to hear the reviews of the festival. I mean, the goal was to bring both cultures together and then to also show students that, hey, this is like family here. University is reachable and we want to make it as inclusive as possible. And that's why we made it free so everybody could just come and enjoy the day. We supported a lot of local vendors as well. So when it comes to business and entrepreneurship, like that was my goal to find local, businesses and just make sure that everybody was accounted for, I guess. So yeah, if you guys need anything, I'm here, but I would love, more input and when it comes to that, because we do plan on having it again this upcoming year. It was very successful. But the goal is to just bring as much of the community together. And that's why I thought jumping on this was a great idea because this is awesome that you guys have this networking situation going on because I'm at work, but I'm still able to join in. So I think this was a great initiative and we need more of this.
Thanks, Evelyn. This has been a really good example, and we're just at time, so we're gonna have to end it and to be continued. It seems like a lot of people have made connections, but it's a great example of every level of interaction, right? From putting on your own
Right.
festival for the first time, which is amazing, to just helping people know there's tools out there to be better aware of the finite elements of who their audience is. So thanks everyone so much for joining. We're gonna end it there. Have a great day.